Hi folks, and welcome to Schick Happens. It's late July. I just came in from an afternoon mushroom hunt. I had a little bit of success. Some hygrophorus milkies, some crown tip coral, and chanterelles. But this video isn't about any particular mushroom. I just thought I'd do a video to kind of inch people in the direction of trying their hand at summer mushroom hunting. I know it can be intimidating for sure. There's a lot of folks out there that hunt morels, and when that season's over, they call it a year. And then there's some that'll maybe hunt for chicken of the woods and hen of the woods later on in late summer, early fall. But there's a lot of people out there in that camp that are missing out on some really good mushroom hunting in the summertime. And let me tell you, for years and years, I fell into that morel mushroom camp. I didn't want anything to do with wild mushrooms in the summer. I was intimidated and I was scared. And then about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, a couple guys introduced me to chicken of the woods and hen of the woods. And I'm like, this is awesome. You know, now I can hunt in the spring for a couple, 3 weeks, and I can hunt late summer, early fall for a couple, 3 weeks. But I had a couple other buddies that kept nudging me saying, look, you're missing out on the best mushroom hunting of the year. You got June, July, and August, and there's hundreds and hundreds of edible species out there to forage for. But again, I was intimidated. I didn't know a poisonous one from an edible one. I didn't even want to chance it. And that brings me to this video. Is if you're in that camp, I want you to, and you really want to go hunt for mushrooms, you just don't know anything about it, I want to be the first to tell you I was the same way until I finally said, you know what, I'm going to start digging into this a little bit and doing a little bit of research. And with everything that's at your fingertips nowadays, it's easy to learn some of this stuff. The very first thing I did was bought a National Audubon Society mushroom field guide. Now, I've learned a ton from this book. There's things in there I wish they would have done a little bit different, but this is cram full of information. And along with that, I ordered a few other mushroom books. And once I started looking at these, I realized, you know, I'm familiar with some of these mushrooms. I've seen them before. I just didn't know anything about them or was nervous or scared to look into them or pick them or anything like that. Until I started reading about the ranges, the weather, or not the weather, until I started reading about the ranges of the mushroom, you know, where in the United States are they typically found, what time of year they're found, what kind of trees they're associated with, do they grow on wood, do they go from the ground. The more I dug into this, the more interesting it got, and then a lot of things started making sense. And what I started focusing on was looking for mushrooms that I knew were in my area in Northwest Ohio and around oak trees, because we have a lot of blocks of woods around here with oak trees. So that's what I started focusing on. And then I would key in on what mushrooms out there are edible or choice edible that have no poisonous lookalikes. And I kind of still do that to this day. If there's a mushroom I'm trying to learn about that I want to harvest and consume, I typically shy away from it if there's a close poisonous to that mushroom. Now that's just me, and I'll probably get over that hump sometime down the road as I gain more knowledge and learn more about these mushrooms. But again, I just want to put this video out that if you're afraid to take that next step and learn more about these mushrooms, do some research. Get some of these books. Get this National Audubon Society book. There's a wealth of information in here. And along with that, there's a lot of great YouTube channels out there that cover wild edible mushrooms. The one guy that really sparked my interest and really got me going on this was Adam Harriton, and his YouTube channel is Learn Your Land. The guy is a walking encyclopedia of knowledge. What he knows about mushrooms, wild mushrooms, edible mushrooms, poisonous mushrooms, and then even plants and trees. It's just phenomenal. While he's a brilliant person when it comes to this type of stuff, he's got a knack for kind of dumbing it down, keeping your interest in really learning about the mushroom he's talking about. And believe it or not, he's helped me numerous times over the last 3 or 4 years in identifying some mushrooms via email, which is super cool. Not a lot of YouTubers are going to, especially big YouTubers. I think he's at 300,000, maybe 400,000 subscribers, but he has always taken the time to get back to me in emails. But I'll tell you that when I first got into this, I was amazed just doing a little bit of research and doing spore prints and getting online and watching YouTube videos and getting in the books, how easy a lot of these are to identify, especially if there's no associated lookalikes that can be harmful or toxic or poisonous. And I probably won't do mushroom videos on where to find them. That's just not my wheelhouse. I get hung up on the scientific names, and I would just embarrass myself trying to make how-to videos for mushrooms. I do include some mushroom hunting in my videos and talk a little bit about the mushrooms, but I'm not the person to put up how-to mushroom videos. I'm not a mycologist. I'm not even near that level. And there's still a ton that I need to learn. I make it a rule to try to learn 2 or 3 new mushrooms, new choice edible mushrooms every year. And just keep adding that to my, what's left up here of memory. But every year I just focus on 2 or 3, I'll find them, and then I got them in the bag to know further down the road. I mean, you go back 7, 8 years ago, when I first started getting into summer mushroom hunting, I only knew of morels, dryad saddle, pheasantback, and then chicken in the woods and hen of the woods. So it's basically 4, maybe 5. And of course puffballs. And now I'm up to about 25 to 30 species of mushrooms that I am 100% confident on identifying and consuming. And I hope in the next 2 or 3 years I can add another dozen to that. So anyway, I just wanted to put this video up that if you're in that camp of, I love mushrooms, I like morels, I like finding hen in the woods and chicken in the woods in the fall, I'm just scared and don't know anything about summer mushrooms, I want to encourage you to start learning, because the information's out there. You just got to take that first step and start learning about them. And pretty soon you'll find out that, hey, this isn't so hard if I apply myself. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Thanks for joining me here today on Schick Happens. Again, just a little nudge and a push that if you're interested in summer mushroom hunting, get out there and do it. You don't have to eat them, just collect a bunch. Do some research on them in your books. Take some spore prints. There might even be apps out there that you can send pictures to help you identify them. Personally, I'm not going to trust that, but I think they're out there. But again, look into it, take that next step, and happy mushroom hunting.